is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from Zoom again, and this time we are here with White Ward from Ukraine. Thank you so much, Yuri, for being here. It's great to have you here.
Hi, thank you too.
Yeah, it's so awesome to have you here. Your new album, False Light, is absolutely beautiful, just like Love Exchange Failure, just like Futility Report. It's another great album for the White Ward catalog. Was the intention of False Light to continue where you left off after Love Exchange Failure, or given everything that's happened between Love Exchange Failure and now, this was like a new beginning for White Ward in a way?
Yeah, I think it's more like variant A, because False Light it's a direct intonation of ideas, both lyrical and musical, from Love Exchange Failure. Uh, because I think on Love Exchange Failure we pretty well established our style, and then we are just trying to develop it more and more. And if to speak about lyrical components and conceptual ideas, then we continue to developing the theme of human environment, like cities or like more rural places, like in False Light, and how um, human beings interact in these environments, and also problems that can be caused by living in megapolises, like in life and change failure, or problems actual for rural places like villages that we are talking about in post life.
Mhm. Well, you know what? It's so cool you mentioned that. That was honestly my interpretation of False Light. Actually, kind of like it's more atmospheric and more suburban or country in a way.
Yeah.
And Love Exchange Failure, it has like that film noir vibe behind it. Like when I listen to Shelter off of Love Exchange Failure, that has that very isolation vibe of living in a big city in a way. Was this mainly your experiences in these environments, or was and coming from internally, or was this or were you analyzing the world around you, and this was coming this was an external source of inspiration?
Yeah, I think it's more about external things that happens in world in Ukraine, for example, because some songs from False Light are directly based on events happened in Ukraine some time ago. Um, so also I think that if to speak about the inspiration, it's almost always almost always going from outer things, because all the feelings, all the emotions that we have are based on events that happening in our life, or that we are uh, can that we can see from news, from books, from history. So and then we are if we are um, if feelings that going from these events are really bright and powerful, then that could be an inspiration.
Hmm.
So that's why we are, for example, as I said, write some songs are based on real events, because these events are very terrible and at the same time very important to understand.
Definitely, definitely. And this is pretty much 2022 marks 10 years of White Ward, or at least since the world first heard of it, since the Illusions EP came out 10
Yeah.
years ago. How has the songwriting, like on a technical level and on an inspirational level, evolved over time, and what we would see in Futility Report onwards, and the EPs and demos? Was this is what we're hearing now in White Ward the vision that you always wanted to take, or was this did this kind of just turn out the way that it did?
Uh, Technically, I think almost nothing changed, because the main part of music was written and now written by me. Of course, there are some new musicians like sax player on or new people like our bass player and vocalist Yuriy, who wrote lyrics. So it's not only my work, but technically the process of composing for me is almost the same. Another question is that now I almost have no borders I mean stylistic borders, because when I wrote the material for illusions, for example, that in this time I had a pretty straight direction and stylistic direction of music that I want to create, and you can hear this like sounds just a regular um, post black metal, some with some shoegaze elements, because it was music that I would like to write. So, but now I listen to a lot of different music, and I would like to implement all this stuff I really like in another music into repertoire. Of course, we have some borders because we have some musical concepts on, and music that we write is based on this concept. So some borders are still here, but it's not these borders that have had place 10 years ago.
Well, and I mean, again, like the evolution of White Ward. Like I remember listening to Love Exchange Failure, and to go from Shelter to No Cure for Pain, that alone has so much contrast behind it. Is it fair to say, like, people categorize White Ward as, the post black metal and stuff, but I consider your music to be very experimental, bringing in elements of heavy guitars, aggressive vocals, but then also having pianos and saxophones. Is it fair to say that maybe incorporating new elements into White Ward is fairly easy in a way because there are so many different styles incorporated into one?
Um, as I said, every time when we starting to create album, we at first creating like an aesthetical concept and lyrical concept of music. So then when I trying to imagine how it should sound, I already almost know what instruments will be okay for it or no. For example, when I tried to uh, create music for False Light, we already had this like rural concept, and I understood that it would be ok, for example, to use acoustic guitar in more like Gothic Americana style, inspired by King Jude music, for example, or it's okay to use trumpets with like Western vibe, because we would like to create this a little bit dry Western movie atmosphere in some parts. So it's not difficult to use something new because we already understand how it should sound.
Definitely,
The same
definitely.
thing.
But even though you have these external inspirations and an atmosphere that you follow, the music is beyond emotional. Like every time I listen to White Ward, I feel a sense of emotion and it really brings me into my own world. Is the goal of White Ward to maybe engage the listener into the concept as much as the music itself, or is there room for White Ward's music to also be open to interpretation?
Um, I think if we speak about any sort of art, there always will be two sides of the one penny, because from the one side, the first side, uh, almost every artist are creating his piece of art, and he already trying to tell something from this. But from another side, every human could interpret it from his subjective point of view. Even if you trying to told something in lyrics, something really exact, then every always you could find a person who will understand it a little bit in another way compared to that you would like to say.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, we of course we are trying to talk many things with our lyrics. We are trying to talk about many social existential problems of modern world, for example. But I understand that people are mm, not should and understand it only in this particular way.
Hmm. Is there a time though where your own direct personal life and your own personal experiences also can maybe dictate it? Like, is the whole album meant to solely focus on just that one thing?
Um, can you
Like,
explain it more?
yeah, of course. Like, because, since the formation of White Ward to now, a lot has happened in the world,
Hmm.
especially within Ukraine. I mean, between 2012 to now with Crimea and what's happening now. I mean, does your own personal life and your own personal experiences also help influence this music in a way? Or do you want to kind of maybe use this music as a direct escapism from reality?
Um, no, I don't think it is not escapism. I think it's more about um, global things are happening uh, around us, not in Ukraine, in the world. It's all, as I said, we are speaking about the problems of human being in modern society. So, yeah, some things can happen in our life too, and of course the music is a sublimation in any way. So we are writing this music not because all in our life is cool.
Yeah.
It's, I think it's obvious.
Hmm. Well,
But
It, I,
uh,
oh,
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Well, what I was gonna say is, I think White Ward's music is like the most real in black metal, as you guys talk about the actual aspects of everyday humanity. Like, and I'm not discrediting, a lot of the satanic black metal bands or like the suicidal black metal bands like Shining or Life Lover, but I really feel like this is more or less, rather than trying to make it as dark as possible. I think White Ward is really being upfront and is able to kind of gravitate the listener with a hypnotic element. I think White Ward takes beauty of despair and makes beauty in the macabre, and I think is able to demonstrate it in a language that we can all understand. Because I feel like a band like Shining, for example, that's still an acquired taste in a way. I still think, though, for White Ward, a lot of people could get on board and maybe understand what the beauty of darkness really is through you guys.
I think it's purpose of art at all. So take different absolutely terrible dark things uh, and make something beautiful from that,
De-
because it's, as I said, it's a way of sublimation. You
Definitely.
take your problems, your emotions from anywhere and creating something from that. For you asked about from outer some outer things. I can just tell you about one direct. Mm, oh God, I forgot this word. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
um, okay, so on our album we have on Full Slide song called Phoenix. It's one of two songs based on real events happened in Ukraine. It's based on a real story when uh, some people from Kherson region tried to burn forest to get a place to build something. Uh, it's not it was not allowed by law, so it's just direct criminal. And one girl, eco-activist called Katerina, tried to investigate these things and find the people who are involved in it. But when she started to already be close to um, to find out who it was, someone just tried to kill her with acid. One guy just meets her on the street and I forget. One moment, I will try to find this word just to
It's okay.
um,
Pull up the internet, our friend.
try to splash some acid on her face.
Hmm.
And this girl have died maybe months or two after this event. And this song is about this direct things because we understand that all the situation is happening in our country near us, and we all evolved in this.
Yeah.
So we think it's very important to talk about these things.
Definitely. The world may be a big place, but in all actuality, the world is very small and everything affects everybody. We are all connected in
Yeah,
one way and we
yeah,
all stem from a similar root. And I think your music does bring people together in a way on sonically, and I think conceptually it also brings people together. That's what I think White Ward's music is. It's beauty and darkness that brings people together.
yeah.
And when it comes, and now you are a very prolific artist within yourself. When I became a big fan of White Ward, I was going down metal archives and reading about all of you, and you've been involved in in humanity and mysticism and Morchant and
Oh.
Nerve Abscess. I mean, quite an impressive roster of bands. Is there a different approach or a different mindset depending on what project you're involved with? Or is there a method behind the madness that applies to every project you've been involved with?
Um, all these bands you named now, it's like just my history of music I created some time ago, some years ago. It's all was before White Word, and I don't think in any of this project was like really serious.
Hmm.
It's just a natural development of my tastes, of my skills, or in composing music, because I think, yeah, some of songs I've written before White Word is pretty okay, and I still can turn it on, and it will be not cringy. But some material is terrible, absolutely. I don't recommend anyone to listen mysticism, for example. Don't do it, please.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna listen to it now just because of that. Being the
uh, so I think it's really, of course, it's helps me to develop my skills in composing, and I think the White Word is the first band where I with that I am really happy with things I made, and the first band with which I we at first it was only I,
yeah,
but when then we tried to receive some really good feedback and some you know success, maybe, if we can call it like that.
yeah. And when it comes to the White Ward's music, also, you really know how to embrace a long song and you keep a long song engaging, which I think is one of the hardest things to do in any genre of music. But when you work on on a song for a long period of time, is it harder to kind of maintain the energy that initially sparked that idea?
um, can you explain what you mean the spark idea?
Like the creative energy that one feels when creating something. If you're working on something for a long period of time, how do you maintain that creative energy? Do you like to feel the same way when you finish a song as you do when you start it?
um, I can say that every White Word song, the base of this song, the main riffs, almost always was composed very fast. So it was sometimes situations like I could just sit and compose songs 10 minutes long for about 2 3 days, and then we just polishing in from the long time. But almost all the main riffs, main melodies that have really, that you call energy, is composing very very fast. It's like always like endless stream. You are starting to compose, music, and then you writing next riff, next riff. So every part are going to directly from previous.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I don't think I anymore there were any moments when I can't complete something because I lost some inspiration for any song.
That you
I
are
don't know.
You're the absolute last band I've ever would have expected to get an answer like that. We write these songs relatively fast, and I've interviewed bands like Dream Theater and Between the Buried and Me that like write the longest songs ever, and they tell me, "Oh, it takes months and weeks." The fact that you're able to lay this down so quick is very impressive.
I can say that polishing of the song, all the arrangement, all the small details could be made even during the recording session, or when I already when I already have a finished demo recording of song ready for studio records, and when I going to studio starting to record something, I think, oh, come on, we can just change something here a little bit, change sound a little bit, and it's still this process of polishing of the song. So yeah, the process of finalizing could take really a lot of time. But as I said, the main base of the song almost always was completed very fast, like I don't know, 3 5 days, maybe a week.
That is that is pure talent right there, and any Prague band watching this is probably seething with envy right now. but and most importantly, the main reason why I wanted to do this interview is discuss. First off, everybody in White Ward is doing okay. I know you guys just completed a tour. Are you guys currently in Ukraine right now, or did you manage to get out?
Yeah, we all in Ukraine. We all at our homes. Only our sax player is moved from Kiev to Western Ukraine in more maybe we can call it safe place near Carpathian Mountains. That's why he couldn't to um, go and play with us on our recent European mini tour because it's pretty difficult for him to go to the rehearsals to Odessa. We are three of us living in Odessa. Our second guitar player, Mikola, living in Kiev, and Dima living on Western Ukraine.
Wow. Is everybody doing okay? Because I know that like between Odessa and Donbass and Luhansk and Kharkiv, a lot has been happening in the south with Crimea and Mariupol. Like, are you guys doing okay at the moment? That's the most important question I want to ask.
Yeah. Fortunately, we are okay. Our homes is okay. But I think everyone should understand that every moment, just Russian rockets can hit your home because they're trying to, I don't know. Sometimes they're trying to terror people, and some missiles can hit just living houses. For example, maybe a week before tour, when we come to our rehearsal place with our drummer to pack drums, maybe 1 hour before that, the Iranian drone that Russia buys from Iran hit a building maybe 50 meters from our rehearsal place. And we come here, and there still were a smoke and the smell of burned things. So yeah, it's going to be like 3 5 air raids during the day. Yesterday I sitting under the in parking under the mall for about 2 hours because of air raid.
It's it's
But it's our reality now, so
it's
we can just adapt to that.
Well, first off, your strength is truly admirable during this time, and it's definitely an influence for all of us, not even just in the metal community, but here in America. For people in the heavy metal community, we're here in America. First off, forget what any bullshit media says or anything like that. We, the American people, love you in Ukraine, and we stand with you during this dark time. Is there anything we can do from this country in our end? We only could do so much, as just citizens. But aside from spreading the message, is there another way that we could help you in the people in Ukraine?
It's called sounds pretty banal, but I think the best way to support us, Ukraine, is to support our army with money because mm, for now is the most important thing that our soldiers had uh, everything to fight with these shitbags because mm, you know Russia is very big
Yeah.
and there is a lot of meat. So just you just should understand that every dollar donated for any funds that helping our armies go save someone lives. And also the very important thing that many people can't understand because they I'm not judging. It's okay because people don't know the context, historical context of Ukrainian-Russian conflict. They should understand that it can't works like Ukrainians just can give Russians, I don't know, Donbass or Crimea and all will end. No, it's not working
You give them an inch,
because
they take a mile.
because the Russians don't need. It's war not about the territories or resources or something like that. It is an existential conflict, and the Russians just would like to want to destroy Ukrainian nationality, Ukrainian culture, because they just think that. Ukrainians, it's a fake nation, So if we will give them, I don't know, Crimea or Donbass, and that will be a peace pact between us, it will be like 5 years, and then they will attack us again.
Didn't they say the same thing in 2014? Give us Crimea and all will be well. And now look what's happening in the Donbass region. So
Yeah. Some people think that if we will like say that okay, Crimea is yours, just fuck off. Not, it's not working.
yeah, and
It was the same with, for example, it's much more smaller conflict, but
Georgia.
in 19th where was conflict with Chechen Republic.
Yep.
At the first Chechen War. So Russians make a peace pact with how it's called this year's Ichkeria. It's a pure name, not Chechen Republic, but Ichkeria. So they made this peace pact, and then Russia just attacked them in maybe 4 years again.
Yeah. And the same thing happened in Georgia in 2008 with Abkhazia and South Ossetia, right? It was the same exact situation. It seemed like it was a lot less fighting happening as a result because Georgia is such a small country. It's the size of New York City. But it seems like with Russia, you give them an inch, they take a mile. They won't stop at Donbass, and it seems like that moron Lushenko is just going to let them take Belarus, and this is a real issue. Is because I spoke with plenty of Ukrainian bands such as Ginger and Space of Variations and a lot of other bands. Would you say that your music could also help spread the message and make us aware of this?
I don't know how to talk about music because I think with music, for now, it's more important to spread something like Ukrainian culture. So for example, for next releases, I think it will be cool to implement more of native Ukrainian culture. I don't mean that it'll be like a folk music, of course, but there are a lot of cool ways to implement, for example, Ukrainian poesy, like it's done by bands like, for example, Drut, you maybe know, or for example, use some Ukrainian instruments, but use it in the way like like we are using saxophone, but we are not playing jazz music.
Yeah.
We are just using saxophone in our music. So I think it's very important to make it something like a revival of Ukrainian culture. Of course, we are using our social media like with the purpose of spreading some true info about the situation. and also, of course, we uh, were on our recent tour, and we tried to say something during the shows.
Yeah, which is very important. Nurgle from Behemoth has been doing the same thing as well. We have plenty of
Yeah,
bands. We have plenty of bands here in the underground in New York City that have been very supportive. We've done plenty of benefits. Just if there's anything in the heavy metal community that we could do to support the Ukrainian scene and the Ukrainian people, we're always happy to help. And like I said, any jackass on social media here, don't let the. I always tell people, don't let the loudest voices determine the truth. We Just because they're loud doesn't mean that they're right. We support you through this time of trouble, and we will always have your back.
thank you. I really appreciate that, and it's priceless. It's absolutely priceless.
Yeah, we will have your back. Is there any chance have you guys thought about maybe getting out of Ukraine to also help spread the message, or are you standing in your own territory right now?
Can you repeat here?
And is the plan for White Ward is to stay in Ukraine?
Uh, yeah, we will be. You mean about touring
Yeah,
or living?
living. I mean, I think that's more important than touring right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. We will live in Ukraine because we will be here. We don't leave Ukraine because you know we are on the places where we should be. I don't think that it's will happen to us in any way if we will leave country because yeah, it's could be dangerous too, but it could be dangerous here. But when we're here, mm, we are in this situation,
Yeah.
you know, because it's pretty banal. But yeah, we are Ukrainians, so yeah, we should be here. I think
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure in that.
Yeah, we stay. You stay and fight for your land. I just think that's truly breathtaking that you leave Ukraine to do a tour and then you come back. That's truly admirable and inspiring.
Yeah, but it's like mm, maybe you know that every musicians that would like to go into in Europe, I mean, men, um, guys, should get the permission to leave the country, and it's absolutely awesome that our Minister of Culture giving these permissions for almost every underground bands. It's working like not about the pop music or some big, really big bands who will collect a lot of money and thousands of people on the shows. It's working almost for everyone. For example, our friends who playing screamo music, like a post-hardcore screamo music, they are not very popular, like a classical underground DIY band.
Mhm.
Um, they have no label or a booking agency, but our ministry culture is okay with that, and also allows them to go to Europe and play shows, and it's really awesome.
Mm.
I think it's like um, one of signs that our society and country becomes much more progressive and democratic.
Yeah,
So everyone can doing what he wants and can help someone in and help in this situation in way he can do it.
yeah, absolutely. And we do hope, and obviously this shouldn't be on the top of everybody's mind now, but one day we would love for White Ward to come to the USA. We would love to have you here.
Yeah, we really hope and we really want to visit USA, and I really hope that one day it will be real. We will work on it
It
anyway.
it will happen. It will happen one day. But Yuri, I want to thank you so much for your time today. I send my best wishes to your bandmates, all of your friends, and your family, and continue fighting. We will stand with you to the very end.
Thank you.
And to Putin, if you can hear this, just know your fucking day is coming. And really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Everybody, we are here with White Ward. Be sure to check out their new album, False Light, and support any way you can. We will see you next time on Heavy New York.